Hello and welcome to my channel, Play with Curious Sunshine. My name is Sarah and here we talk all about play. I talk about what it means to be playful, aspects of playfulness, and how play can be applied to literally everything in life, even the not so good stuff. So, if you haven't already, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and send this video to someone who you think would benefit from it. So, it's been a while, but I'm glad to be back. And yeah, life was just life. And I don't want to get into the nuts and bolts of all the crazy stuff. But I'm here just in time for the summer season. So, today we are going to be talking about the Divine Imagination Matrix. This is also known as, or this could also be considered like the collective consciousness, or whatever term you know that symbolizes the unseen realm where we all connect together. So, yeah, I'm gonna riff a little bit, and also the format's gonna change just a skosh. I'm gonna try and keep these short, still, but there's gonna be different elements and segments. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. So let's talk about the Divine Imagination Matrix. This is a term I love using, and this specific topic is really, I feel like, is really beneficial for creatives, entrepreneurs, artists, anyone who creates something from nothing, has a great idea and actualizes it. The Divine Imagination Matrix, to me, is the space where our ideas pop into our head. I believe that our ideas are not our own. I believe that our ideas are a connection with the divine, with the universe, with God, whatever term you want to put it, to our future self even. And so these ideas come to us, and then it's up to us to act upon them. And so another great thing about the imagination complex is that there's tiers. And so I believe that when we are vibrating at certain frequencies, those ideas and those imaginations that pop into our head, or these downloads that we get, are matching that of the frequency that we're in. So the higher we vibrate, the more higher our frequency is, the more high vibrational ideas and thoughts and downloads will come to us. And so, the latter, if we're vibrating at a lower frequency, those imagination, those ideas that pop in may not be aligned with what we want for our higher selves, or the idea that pops into our head during that time can help support us getting to a higher vibration. Because some ideas that I get match the frequency that I'm at, and I'm like, wow, I would have never been able to understand what that was in these past versions of myself. So yeah, and I think that also, looking at my notes per usual, so I don't ramble, because I'm good at that. Yeah, and so I also feel like our imagination, which you may have heard me say in previous videos, our imagination is infinite, it's boundless, and so is the imagination matrix. So there's not there's no worry about a well running dry or running out of ideas. It's just allowing ourselves to tune in to our frequency that we're at right now, putting in that intention of what we want to put out into the world, and then kind of waiting to see what the imagination matrix brings to us. Yeah. And so, in regards to being a creative or an entrepreneur, which I'm both, it comes to like this idea of just setting the intention and sitting on it and kind of saying like, hey, I want to create this art. I want to create, honestly for me, it's more of like a feeling. Like, it's like, I want to invoke joy. I want to make folks happy, or I have this idea and I don't really know what to do with it, right? And so really saying like, hey, this is where I'm at, and then allowing that connection within the divine imagination complex, imagination matrix, to kind of give us some ideas of like, this is how you can share this. And in regards to play, right? The play is not necessarily in the idea, but the play is in how you execute it. The play is in how you actualize this idea that you have, this idea that you are in alignment with, and then figuring out how you just want to like share that. So there's so much play within how we explore, actualize, and even share. And I'll have to say that like a lot of the things that I create, from my Maisie mystery book to my Labyrinth of Mystery virtual escape room, these are all the things that like I've kind of set that intention of, I want to create something that touches on fear, but in a fun and whimsical way. Maisie mystery. I didn't know, right? I'm not like, I want to write a book. It's like, how do I play with this idea? And then I just kind of sit, meditate, do my own research, right? And then when the idea comes in, it comes in. And that's another component of the divine imagination matrix, is knowing when it's done, like knowing when that idea is ready for you to explore. Kind of like when you put a cake in the oven and then you hear like that ding, it's ready. I kind of feel like it's like that. It's like you're simmering on something, you're simmering, and then you're like, I got it. Then that's like that alignment within the imagination field and yourself and your desires and what you want out of life. So another thing that kind of affirms this is that whole, like, I don't know if you've ever heard this, but like Michael Jackson, when he'd get these ideas, he acts on them like as soon as he gets them, because he was always afraid that Prince was going to steal the idea. And I feel like that's also part of the imagination matrix, of that, like, those ideas that come to us aren't solely ours. Now, our goal and our destiny and our path in life is ours, but how we execute that is up to us. And so these ideas that we get don't necessarily belong to us if we're choosing not to act on them. And so it's like, cool, I get this idea, let me act on it right away before someone else gets that download and acts on it before I get to. Or in a way that kind of stills, or not stills, but like kind of takes away my passion for doing said idea or project. And it's happened to me, and I've seen it happen. Like, what was it? Like, I have so many ideas. I have lots of ideas. And also honoring the fact that, like, sometimes we get great ideas and we may not have the resources or time or knowledge to fulfill them. And again, that's where the play is. Do we want to play with the journey of acquiring said skills, resources, and knowledge to do them? Or are we going to just sit with it and then just kind of let it pass by and see someone else act on this idea? And I've seen this, I had this one idea, and it was, what was it? I was like, I would love if there were like sports bar style, like bar pubs, but instead of watching sports, we're watching Real Housewives of Potomac, which I love, or watching the new episode of Love is Blind or Love Island or something like that. And I was like, cool, that'd be a great idea. And I made like a mental or audio journal, audio memo on my phone. And then I think like the next year I saw someone open up the very thing that I was like, that'd be cool. And I was like, someone did it. The imagination matrix dropped that idea off in their brain space too. And they had the time, resources, and education to open it. Cool. I still want to do it. And so I guess in that event that happens, you say, cool, now how do I play with the idea of making it my own? Because there's a billion burger spots and they make it their own. So it's, just because someone else takes this idea doesn't mean that you can't act on it. Still, just add a little bit of your own flavor to it. So yeah, Imagination Matrix, really cool and interesting concept to really just look at how our imagination is connected to the collective consciousness, or how our ideas, our creations, are reflections of the divine creation, the divine creator, the universe, the frequency of the planet. And also knowing that some of these ideas and creations that you have may be ahead of its time. And so it's going to take a little extra elbow grease for you to actualize that. But I invite you to tap into that and really try putting out an intention. Try putting out a feeling instead of something tangible. Let the tangible outcome be the magic. Cool. So that's that on the main topic. So now we're going to move into like these newer segments that I want to include. One of which is kind of like these like philosopher's corner. Yeah. I love thinking and conceptualizing and philosophizing. So I feel like this is a great space to share it with you guys. So for this video, or this week's philosophers in the philosopher's corner, we'll create a fun name for that in the future. For the play philosophy of the day, maybe that's it. The play philosophy of the day is, may you have a low threshold for laughter and acquire a high threshold for frustration and annoyance. What does that mean? So we think of threshold, it's like, how easy is it for us to get to these points? And so in order to keep our vibrations high, in order for us to tap into this playful side of ourselves, I invite you to play with the idea of your thresholds. And having a low threshold for laughter means that I make it easy for me to laugh. I'm not going to try and be stoic and like make it hard for me to laugh. Why? Why would you make it harder for you to laugh? So lower your threshold for laughter. Make it easier for you to tap into that. I love dad jokes for that reason. Yes, I know they are corny. Yes, I know that they are cheesy. And that is why I find them so funny, because I think the cornier the joke is, the more funnier I find it. And so allowing yourself to laugh. Laugh a little. Laugh a lot, actually. Make it easy for you to laugh. And on the flip side of that, have the threshold higher for you to be annoyed and frustrated. I know it's so, especially in today's society. There's a lot of frustrating things around us. There's a lot of annoying things that are happening in our day-to-day. And so my invitation to you is, make it harder for yourself to get knocked off of your high vibrational path. People love rage baiting. Make it harder for you to fall for it. Don't fall for the rage bait. Create a higher threshold and be like, haha, you thought you were going to make me angry or upset or annoyed? Well, joke's on you. It's going to take a lot for me to get that way. And in fact, I like laughing, so I'm going to focus on that, which I think is like kind of sticking it to the rage baiters, the people that want to make you annoyed and frustrated. Things and people that want to make you annoyed and frustrated want to see your reaction. They want to see you annoyed. And so if you have a high threshold for what makes you annoyed, and a low threshold for what makes you happy, who wins? I want you to win. I want to win. I want you to win. I want people who have a higher propensity for laughter and joy to keep that. And I don't want you to get annoyed so easily. People love tap dancing on your nerves. Make it harder for them to do that and be like, you're silly. You're not going to do that. I'm going to go over here and laugh. So that's my philosopher's take. Take that with what you will, just like anything else I say in this video, in past videos, and in the future videos. And so for the last part of this video is what I'd like to call this or that. And what that entails is it's a little game. It's a fun little game that will help you, give you whatever messages you need. It's sort of like an intuitive game. And so how this is going to go is I'm going to hold my hands here, and I will invite you to choose this hand or this hand. And then whatever hand you choose, at the end, I will deliver 2 symbols. Whatever hand you choose is a symbol that's meant for you. Kind of like heads or tails, but like more complicated, I guess, because it's me. And so I'll give some tidbits on each symbol for you to take with you for the rest of the week. Do with that what you will, but hopefully whatever choice you make is something that serves you in helping you align with your highest self, with your highest vibration, with your most playful, joyful self. So, let's play this or that. So, we have this hand here, or this hand here. And just pick one. Don't overthink it. That's not how intuition works. It's kind of just like a right there, right when you get it. All right. Did you pick your hand? Perfect. So, if you chose this hand, you get the dolphin. And if you chose this hand, you got the parrot. So, let's dive into each of these. So, if you got the dolphin, then I invite you to kind of explore what dolphins mean to you. Really looking at the symbolism of dolphins. Are animals that are in the water. They swim within the waters. They are known for being playful, for being happy, for being really intelligent. And I know that humans are always like, we're the smartest and most of all. But I'm also like, it's probably a decent tie between dolphins and elephants that we know of so far. So I think dolphins are very smart. So looking at dolphins, maybe you need to be in the water. Maybe you need to, reconnect with water, reconnect with your playfulness. Maybe the dolphin's your spirit animal for the week. Really just dive into what elements of the dolphin spirit resonate most with you. They're also very cunning and smart. And probably know way more about the ocean than we do because they live there. So, yeah, that's your symbol and sign for this week. And then if you chose this hand, you chose the parrot. So the parrot, different than the dolphin, is sky. So while dolphins are diving into the depths of the ocean, parrots are flying high into the sky. So maybe you need to tap into air elements. Figure out what aspects of air you need to bring into your life, whether it's going with the wind, being more flexible. Maybe parrots are also really colorful. So maybe this is an invitation for you to bring more color into your life, whether it's in your environment, whether it's in your wardrobe, whether it's in the food you eat, but bring more color into your world. Parrots are also really smart. So, intelligence, learning something new. Language, maybe this is an invitation for you to learn a new word or learn a new language. What else about parrots? Look into parrots as a spirit animal. Birds in general. Figure out what that means for you. Yeah, as an intuitive nudge to help you seek whatever you are looking for in this coming week. So, as always, thank you for watching and thank you for playing.